Why is David Cross creepy in everything he does? God. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to The Umbrella Academy. We are now on the final season, the third episode, which is called The Squid and the Girl. So, the name of this episode, I think, it kind of leans to what we saw in the previous episode. We see that new Ben, bumped into a girl at the diner whose name was Jennifer. And it turned out that Jennifer is who this town was trying to protect / hide from apparently the Umbrella Academy. But anyways, they almost got her out of the town, but then Jean and Jean managed to hit the car that they were all driving in and steal Jennifer away. And we see that when Jennifer and Ben touched, an interesting glow happened between the two of them. I don't know if it was Marigold or what, but clearly Jennifer is special. So anyhow, we heard that the townspeople said that they can't hurt her, so she is someone special, but I do believe that she's not who she thinks she is. Outside of course, the rest of the gang being in this tiny town of horrible people that were all apparently undercover Hargreaves agents, or at least some of them were. So everyone's got their powers back now, including Klaus after he almost had a near-death experience. Rather ironic that it had to be that to trigger them giving him Marigold. But yes, everyone's now back to being powered, and Five went to some weird timeline shifting train station, but he has no idea what it's about or how come he keeps going there unintentionally. So that's what we had in the last episode. I'm hoping that in this one we get a little more information on what Jennifer or who Jennifer is and why she's so important. So let's jump right in. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be notified of when I drop new episodes to this show or anything else that I'm watching, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
The largest squid ever recorded by man. Can you walk our viewers through exactly what happened?
Indeed.
Real big, yeah.
Yeah, huge like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was a fucking whale.
Whoa, we're on TV.
Real big, yeah.
What was going through your mind?
There's no way you're reeling that in by hand.
Dan, Jessica, I don't know what is happening.
Why are you so close to it? Step aside.
I mean, this is incredible, but I think
That's a
I
face.
see a face.
Here.
Yes, yes.
Careful where you're stabbing. Now she finally
Okay.
steps back.
What the fuck?
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna get mad at you for that. Jennifer?
The cleanse.
What is the cleanse? Who is this little girl?
How the hell did she get in there?
Thanks for that report, Bailey. Now, let's go to live streaming in our Channel 9 channel.
Okay, so I don't know if that happened in this timeline or in the original. I'm thinking it's got to be the original. Who's gonna pick you up? Who?
Their names are Jean and Jean.
Thank you.
They run an underground organization called the Keepers.
Sex school.
No. I mean,
Now,
maybe.
once you get to the top, it's always a sex school.
Yeah, the men.
It's true.
They're
It's
an
very true.
extremist group.
What do they want with Jennifer?
Great question.
Great, you don't know that either.
Breathe, Ben.
I'm absolutely fine, thanks to you.
It was a group decision.
Are you mad at me because I
In
saved
fairness.
your
I
life?
was very clear, was I not? No, Marigold. Years down the drain. 3 years clean and sober, but this is what you wanted,
Who
right?
told you to use? Are there drugs? Sir?
Our little parasitic relationship, the
Ooh.
eternal screw-up and his holy savior.
Oh.
As long as I'm around, you don't have to look directly at your empty pit of a life.
Oh, okay, wow. You know what?
Damn.
Daddy issues, chaos junkie. Mommy issues, more daddy issues. Obnoxious asshole issues. Then you
She's just crazy.
You seem kind of weirdly self-actualized, as far as I can tell. Anyway, I'm just so dumb. Who took care of you since Ray walked out? None of these guys gave a shit. Who took care of your little Claire while you bombed every shitty audition in town?
Damn.
Finally, a grain of honesty. Feels good. Feels refreshing. You wanted the old Klaus. You got him.
actually,
Wow,
while we're
where'd
here,
those both come from?
They said I was the best one, so just saying.
Exactly. Hold on to that, sis. It's only because he doesn't know you, respectfully. Oh God, what did she do to you?
the entire goddamn place was Hargreaves' town.
Yeah, it's like it was designed to keep Jennifer hostage.
What's so important about her anyway?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, why are they lying to her?
It's better if we stick together.
No, it's not. And this little field trip proved it.
I mean, you're awfully gung-ho for a person that didn't want to go in
Yeah,
the first place.
what's changed?
Ben, don't you walk away from me.
Okay, dad voice.
You were in the cafe with him.
With who?
Don't play dumb. The little Greek guy. The
The
mustache.
fact that you don't recognize your own brother is actually adorable.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Your kids are gonna grow up in a broken home and you're laughing.
I mean, they've got you for
Diego.
parents. How much worse could it get?
I'm just trapped in this unending suburban hellscape.
It's
I mean,
only
that's
for a
good to
few
know.
years.
The life we built is so bad.
Oh God.
I mean, I'd rather be out there cracking skulls, but I mean,
Somebody's gotta show up for this marriage, because
Somebody.
sure as hell ain't
She
you.
popped out 3 kids. It's growing. Whatever it is, it's definitely not getting better. Interesting. Are we gonna lose Ben again? Is this fate to be a ghost? Did she always have that? Or did it happen because they touched? Alpaca.
Knock, knock.
Or llama. Luther's got a good nose.
Thank goodness we got you when we did.
By
Who knows
ramming
what
me
might
with
happen
your
to
vehicle?
you.
Okay.
You just let Jean and Jean take care of you.
Don't eat or drink anything.
Here.
Though they
This
probably
feel
will go
better.
ahead and just shoot you up anyway. Wow. These people could have kidnapped you and you're just gonna
Not bad,
drink
right?
anything they give you?
You know, not everybody likes alpaca milk right away. Notoriously hard to milk.
small teats.
You know, I'm not gonna judge. I wouldn't do it, but maybe if I was starving, you know? To death.
Why can't you blink?
I can blink. You know, I just
Right.
don't.
Whoa. Where are we? Okay, not the MTA, not the tube.
Trust me, this is unlike any subway you've been to.
Well, where do the trains go?
Timelines.
A map. That's helpful, isn't it?
Can you read it?
I once navigated the Tokyo subway with a bullet wound in my thigh and on my period, so how hard can it be?
I mean, that's some odds you really can't come up against, can you, Five?
We understand this,
you need
Lila.
to move your ass!
I mean, Lila's the right person to go on this kind of mission. She's crazy enough. Are you going to pawn? Is that what's happening right now? I hope he runs into his niece, because he really doesn't have to start using again.
Uncle Klaus?
Yeah. Explain
Bear.
yourself.
You just can't have this conversation right now. I'm sorry.
Come on, Uncle Klaus.
Right, try.
Thinks a bad drink won't make it worse.
She's talking sense, and she's not a baby anymore.
You could just stay and talk to me for a minute.
Move, please.
We could just get through this together.
Will you please just fucking move? Now!
That was all you, Klaus. That was all you. I'm so sorry, Claire. This is not the life you deserved.
Where do you reckon we end up?
My guess is back in Jean and Jean's apartment. Same day, same time, different time.
Different timeline.
Nope. Another apocalypse. Awesome.
Did you just fart?
Get down!
You. I was about to say, I forgot about the flatulence if you're with your doppel.
October 14th, 2006.
Wait, what's so special about October 14th, 2006?
Ben died?
That's the day Ben died.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on with Jennifer, it's got something to do with Ben.
He's actually not wrong
Ipso
about that.
facto, mofos.
Bet you regret not sending in that resume, huh?
No.
Hello, Benjamin.
Sai, where the hell have you been?
Are you real?
Where's my daughter? Did you find her?
Is she your daughter?
What is happening to me?
It's her. She's calling out to you. She's special. And you're special too, Ben.
No.
Listen. Close your eyes.
Before he touches them for you.
Listen to your body. Use.
Why is David Cross creepy in everything he does? God.
Proof of the many worlds theory of quantum mechanics and such.
Better believe they called us every name under the sun. Didn't they, Jane?
But what is the point? I don't understand.
A timeline that felt so much
More true.
where
Do we need to leave you two alone? Like, why am I here with this weird pervy moment?
what do we need to do, huh? How can we help you bring about the cleanse?
Yeah, y'all are crazy. I gotta go.
People are fucking crazy.
Oh, language, darling.
Hey, help me!
I believe you two are already acquainted.
All right, so she's not a fan of seafood. Got it.
The only way I can move forward is if I finally say my piece to him. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like Victor has the most to say. Definitely went through one of the worst experiences.
About the last time you spoke your piece with Dad. He murdered you.
I'm sure that won't happen again. Right?
Wouldn't put it out as an option, you know?
Of course, Miss Hargreaves. Welcome. We've been expecting you.
Huh?
Luther?
Pardon?
Victor.
So?
I'll escort you inside the house. This way, please.
Oh, they did say that he's been reaching out. Damn, y'all been living in the ghetto.
What a pleasure.
Fight order.
For watching over me on the moon.
Oh. It was nothing.
He's so easy. Bless him.
I understand we share a passion for the violin. It's more of a love-hate thing for me.
Yeah, kind of destroyed the world with mine. Has levitating always been a thing he could do?
I thought you were dead, but turns out you can float.
New things.
But I don't have your money.
Right?
And even if you gave me the time, I wouldn't get it.
Facts. He's like, I'm ready.
Not in the face, please.
You had the nerve to make demands after?
You piece of shit.
He'll be back.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he doesn't die. I don't know if it's a good thing that you showed somebody that, Klaus.
Must be quite cold in Canada.
What's the shade for? It gets warm sometimes.
It can be.
Jeez, we have summer.
The summers are quite pleasant.
Thank you. I don't know about Nova Scotia.
Informs me that the tiny hamlet of New Grumson, Maine, is still smoldering in the wake of your colossal
Missed you
ineptitude.
too, Dad.
So it's true. I suspected you couldn't have done all that damage au natural.
Let's be real, yeah.
Is this really how you treat your guests? Threats and interrogation?
Yes, this is exactly how he raises his children.
I was protecting her.
Protecting her from what?
From you, naturally.
You did kill her.
We need to talk about Ben.
Hey, Dad.
I think I've got an idea how you're gonna pay off that debt.
Oh, God. You're gonna have to deal with the dead a lot, I have a feeling.
It explains how Ben died. It refers to it as the Jennifer incident.
It was a tragic accident. Ben, our Ben, died because we failed as a
That
team.
doesn't give specifics.
Allison, how did Ben die?
It was a tragic accident. Ben died because we failed as a team. Ben was the Umbrella Academy.
Exen, you don't know.
Isn't it obvious? Someone's been playing putty with your hippocampus.
Messing with our memories.
Reginald?
It does sound like something I might do.
In fairness.
Whatever timeline it happened in, help them, please.
She said what she said, Reg. You don't make her repeat herself. That is a lot easier than walking. Y'all have time to be line dancing right now? All right. Okay, Ben. Can y'all have a touching reunion later, please?
Yeah, but shooting them would have ruined everything. We did what we had to do.
We sure did, kitty cat.
So they want them to do
Might be
it.
time for a chickadee.
I'll
For
fetch
what?
the wagon.
All right, as long as you know what that means. But I guess, yeah, they're pushing her. They want this to happen.
Lean back and relax, Luther.
Relax.
Yeah, right.
He's super strong. Let's not forget that.
I wasn't on the team then, but I am now, and I want to know the truth as much as you do.
Excellent. Please take a seat.
Why not? Although Victor might break it.
You know, husband and wife shouldn't have any secrets, Lana. That's a rule.
Yeah, every husband, they all have at least one. Let's be real. No big secrets.
I think that we need a break from each other. Time to reassess our marriage.
Y'all did get together rather quickly. For real, Victor, please don't liquefy us all.
Wait! Is this gonna hurt?
Now you ask?
Indubitably.
Too late. I mean, life is pain. You've been shot. This is nothing. What? We're getting to the good stuff. Years of wondering how Ben died. Come on. All right, guys. Well, that was episode 3, The Squid and the Girl. And they meant the literal squid this time. I was wrong. My prediction is saying it was Ben because he's kind of got like the whole tentacle thing. But no, it's a literal squid. Giant, abnormally large squid with a girl that somehow is inside of it, who is absolutely one of them, but not in the way that they think. Very interesting. I mean, with Reggie, you always have to take everything that he says with a grain of salt because there's always double entendres and hidden truths. But anyways, I do believe him in that she's clearly very powerful and she did something to Ben. And my guess is this is not the first time she's done this to Ben. Why? I'm not sure. Like maybe her and Ben are related. I don't want to just say that just because they're both Asian, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. Like maybe that's why they share a connection. But they always made it sound like, at least in the last season, that like that was his first love. So maybe not. Then again, I don't know. Maybe that's just what they assumed because Ben never talked about her, right? Because they said, yeah, like he kept drawing her face and talking about her. Or no, he always drew, yeah, he had a notebook and he would draw about her, but he would never talk about her to the other guys. So I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, with this episode, we see Klaus not taking being powered again well. I've said this a couple episodes in a row now that Klaus unfortunately has this association of thinking his powers mean that he has to be an addict, meaning that he has to be the worst version of himself. And that's just simply not true. His addiction was a choice because he did not know how to control his powers. And he did not like some of the side effects of his powers, particularly the dead that would continuously harass him. We learned last season, last season, that he actually can drown them out. It takes a bit of effort from him, but he actually can shut them up and drown them out if he focuses. He just doesn't do it. And he never really learned as a kid. We see that unfortunately because of the horrible things that their dad did to him. He got so traumatized as a child from all of the side effects of his abilities that as soon as he was old enough to figure out that there were ways to basically numb his mind to the point of literally blocking them out, that's what he did, whether it was alcohol or drugs or both. And then, of course, just the thrill seeking through the reanimation every time he gets taken out. So this is all choices, right? Klaus doesn't want to Klaus is hiding. Let's put it that way. All these kids are hiding from different things with different means, right? For Klaus, it's drugs and alcohol and letting himself die because he doesn't want to deal with the fact that he wants to be loved and isn't loved. He's scared to love because he's lost so many people in his life. He feels like a weird outcast and always has. And truthfully, he's disappointed in himself because he feels like he should be better or do better. But since he was very little, he had their dad telling him that he was useless and not good enough and not pushing himself and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he just really wants to be loved and accepted. That's all Klaus has ever wanted. He wants his own person so he can just love and accept them. Like the happiest he ever was when he did that flashback back in season 2 and he met the person that he loved and they lived together up until that person died. Like that was the happiest Klaus ever was having a person and being able to just live a life with someone who loved him for him. And he hasn't really had that since. right? He's gone back to his dysfunctional family of people who are going through the same trauma as him, which does not help him deal with his own. So again, all these things that Klaus does is all escapism. And we saw that last season with the other timeline, Reggie, he actually pushed Klaus to be like, no, you can do so much more with your abilities, but you've never pushed yourself. You've never applied yourself. And it's, again, we know it's because Reggie traumatized him so bad as a kid. But at this point, Klaus is like over 30. Like, he's old enough now that he should be realizing that the control of his power is in his own hands. He can't just expect anyone else to do this for him. So really, he could have taken this into his hands a long time ago, and he should have, but he's taken this alternative route of being high all the time instead. So anyways, point being, he's taken this anger over having the Marigold back, even though I think on some level he actually is, I don't think he wants to die. I don't think he wouldn't have been the hypochondriac he was if he was open to dying, right? If he really was okay with going whenever he was meant to go, he wouldn't be bubble wrapping everything and wearing masks and surgical grade gloves. Like, this is all fear of dying. And so I don't think he wanted to die, and he definitely didn't want to die like that. But I think he's just finding a way, once again, these repressed emotions that he was then, like before when he had the powers, it was drugs, alcohol, everything else. Without the powers, it was the hypochondriac, the over cleanliness, the hyper fixation on Claire. So it's just one vice for another with Klaus, right? Not dealing with the underlying issues that he has around his loneliness, around his trauma, etc. So anyways, now that he has his powers back, he's choosing to lash out at Allison because she's the closest person. And let's face it, out of all of his siblings, Allison's been the one who's been the most consistent with being there to help clean up his mess, as it were, and pull him out from the depths of the gutter when everyone else wanted to abandon him. I mean, him and Luther, but her and Luther, I should say. But so yeah, when you're closest to someone, unfortunately, they tend to be the people we feel the most comfortable with taking our frustrations out on. So we see that he just leans in on Allison in particular, but he lets everybody have it, right? He tells you, like, yeah, you have mommy issues, daddy issues, you know, you're this. And then he's like, I love that Lila, she dodged that one. He's like, actually, you seem to be okay with the fact that you're messed up, so that's okay. And it's so true. Lila's like, she's just existing. You know, she doesn't blame anybody for anything. She's just like, yeah, I'm kind of cracked, but that's because of these reasons, and I'm okay with that. But anyways, him and Allison have a very rough heart-to-heart. So things that have been, I think both of them needed to say these things for a while. One, Allison being like, I'm kind of tired of you once again hiding from your life and your problems by staying with me. And conversely, him saying, you've been a crap mother, your husband left, and you haven't been dealing with that, and you're throwing yourself in your work and pretending everything is okay when you clearly know it's not. So truths that needed to be said, but maybe not so ugly. And he decided he wanted to just leave and go back to just being an addict. And she was like, fine, you know, go, keep going, keep doing the same thing that's never gotten you the results you wanted, and see if I care, which is a lie because we know she does care. But anyways, he went off and went back to the house. And honestly, the scene with him and Claire was the most heartbreaking because that has been her surrogate parent since this whole timeline began, right? Like, her parents broke up again. And unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but in this timeline, we see that Allison got custody, but it's like I said, she just did what she did in her old timeline where she just sidelined Claire for her career because she has all these other things she still hasn't dealt with. So really, Klaus became that substitute parent, that person for her to talk to, that father figure in a way, now that her dad doesn't seem to be in the picture. And now for her to see, I mean, her brokenhearted face when she realized that Klaus had backslid again, because it's been 6 years, right, that they've been here, and he's only been sober for 3. So that means he was still dealing with the addiction on and off for years before this happened. And so I just, like I said, it broke my heart when she clearly understood right away that Klaus had fallen off the wagon, and she really wanted him to, like, you know, talk to her. She was trying to do what she could, but I mean, how old is she supposed to be in this world? Like maybe 13, right? Like, what is she supposed to do with a full-blown addict, right? That's a lot for anyone to deal with. So anyway, he basically pushed her away. And as I said in the episode, that had nothing to do with the drugs or his powers. That was Klaus using his dysfunction to push people away. And they all do that, by the way. All the Umbrella Academy kids do it, but he was doing it here. And I just felt for her because she's not close to her mom. Clearly her dad's not in the picture, and now Uncle Klaus is on a bender. So poor Claire is all I have to say about that one. So that's where he is. And then we see that he went to try to score more drugs, and he of course asked to be shot because he knows he's fine. And this drug dealer turns out to be not so freaked out about that. In fact, he seems to think that Klaus is going to be of use to him. And we see that there's that weird cult symbol on the floor, and I swear we saw that last season, now that I'm thinking about it. I feel like that's not the first time we've seen that symbolism, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, I'm not sure what it is, but I've no doubt it's probably got to do with dead people, right? I think maybe this person might have figured out that maybe Klaus is a medium, but we'll see. I have a feeling that's what it is. It's always dead people with Klaus, let's be real. So that's Klaus, which is kind of sad, and hopefully he'll get it together next episode and realize that this is all stupid and that he does not need to be an addict going forward just to deal with his problems. As far as the rest of the group, as I mentioned, everyone ended up splitting up after the fiasco of the accident. You know, after the argument, Allison said, okay, some of us, we should split up, like we need to talk to Dad, or no, it wasn't Allison, it was it was Victor who said that we've got two options. We either go and talk to Dad, or talk to Dad, or what was the other option that they split up to do? Oh, or we go check out Jean and Jean and see if we can figure out where they are. So either way, it's kind of it's going to be rough either way. And so they decide to split up. Ben says, I'm going on my own. But the main reason for that is we know Ben still doesn't trust them, but also whatever Jennifer did is irritating him. And he doesn't feel close enough to this group to tell them what's going on with him. So he decides to go off on his own and try to find her on his own. And of course, he's become obsessed with her and he doesn't know why. But, as an audience, we know him, Jennifer, there's some type of cosmic connection there. So he goes off. We see that Five and Lila go off. And of course, Diego wants to go with them because he knows that Lila's up to something. And he really wants to figure out what she's up to. And also the fact that clearly Lila and Five know something he doesn't. So they decide to go off together. And that leaves the other three kids, Luther, Allison, and Victor, to go and talk to their dad for the first time in 5-6 years. So we see that with Five, and before that happened, actually, Five and Lila, of course, picked up on the fact that Five can't blink. She was like, why? And he's like, I can, I'm just choosing not to. And she's like, of course, Lila, she's not the slow process kind of person, which is a good and bad thing when it comes to this group. But of course, she uses her power and forces him to blink. And when they end up in the station, she figures out that this is why he doesn't want to go. And then they end up he went westbound, took him to the same place, same time, but in different timeline. Yes, different timeline. And then when he went eastbound this time with Lila, it was same place, same time, but it was in the future. And it was the future of the original timeline. Well, actually, it wouldn't be the future. It'd be the past. It was the past, right? He's like, it's the same apartment, same place, but it's the past because we saw that Five was still quite young. So he was like, okay, we can't stay here because obviously he knows of the doppelganger effect. I forgot about the farting thing. That's so funny. But yeah, they didn't get to stay long. So they ended up leaving right away and blinking back. So yeah, anyways, that happened, which I think is a very important thing to know. He's like, okay, that's the future. One of the timelines where the world's still broken. And then we know there's another timeline where the town was not taken over by a bunch of Hargreaves agents. So anyways, while they were doing that excursion, we see that Diego found a bunch of the paperwork that Jean and Jean were using. Apparently they thought throwing it in the garbage was a good way to dispose of it. Clearly in this timeline, they don't know how the CIA works. But Diego found the information, and this is where they found out about the Jennifer incident and the fact that they had information about that, and also the fact about Ben's death. And this is where we find out that none of them actually know how Ben died. And I got the sense of that back in season 1, but I just never thought much about it because Ben never talked about it either. So I just figured it was like this thing that was so bad that no one wanted to talk about it because it was so horrific and tragic. But we discover, thanks to Five prodding, he's like, I don't think any of us, he's like, no one's ever told me directly how Ben died. And at this point, it's something someone would have blurted out. Right. And also you'd think Klaus, actually, if Klaus had been there, he might have told, because maybe Ben told him. That's something Klaus would probably keep to himself, to be honest, because Klaus is a lot of things, but he's not a snitch. He actually is really good at keeping information. But anyway, so this is when the group realizes that their memories have been tampered with because they don't remember how Ben died. They don't remember anything outside of this very, very Reggie-esque speech that they use every time they talk about him. So they, of course, go to see Reggie, and they meet their mother, the mother who was a robot in their timeline. And she seems lovely. She's amazing. It's the mother that Diego would have always wanted. And yeah, they basically have a chat. And Reggie basically is like, look, I don't know anything about Ben of your timeline. I don't know how he died, but I feel like my doppel probably would have done something to meddle with your minds, but it probably means that there was something that was really important about that incident that he wanted to hide from you. And what we find out from Reggie is that he did create the town and had all these people, as Five aptly put it, created a Truman Show for Jennifer so that he could keep her safe there, but safe from whom and what? He never got to that point before they were like, nah, give us our memory back. So interesting that he's trying to protect her. He described her as more powerful than all of them, and that she's the opposite of what they are. And I don't exactly know what that part means, but my guess is that I guess she's a singular point, whereas with the Umbrella Academy, they're all kind of pieces, if that makes sense. Like their powers are strong, but it's kind of like they're all like pieces, and they're not really either. None of them on their own is really super powerful, with the exception of Victor. Whereas I think that with this girl, if she honestly has the ability to alter time and space, which is what I'm thinking she is, like she is the linchpin, or what's the word that they call it? She's the fixed point, I guess it would be, right? They say if in timelines, if there's one thing that has to happen, no matter what, they call it like the fixed point, or the I'm losing all my geek terminology right now. I'm super tired. But anyway, she's like a nexus point or a fixed point in time. My guess is that she is something that has to happen, or if something with her happens, it will trigger the same ripple effect of events no matter where she is. And so my guess is in the original timeline, we lose Jennifer, which leads to losing Ben, is my guess, right? We see that she was a casualty of whatever happened with the Umbrella Academy. So my guess is that might have been what led eventually to this apocalyptic event that happens, is the fact that Jennifer dies. She wasn't supposed to die. She was collateral damage. Ben dies. And then eventually we get the situation with Vanya, which eventually led to what happened, right? So I'm thinking that this Reggie somehow knows that this girl is pivotal to keeping the timeline in place, the one that he's in now, and potentially staving off this end of world event. So that's why he kept her there where people could not find her. And more, he said, I'm protecting her from you guys. So he must know that the Umbrella Academy eventually is the one who ends up taking Jennifer's life. One way or another, something happens with that causes that situation. So that makes things very complicated, and it scares me for Ben, because we see that Ben went on, like, he met up with Sai, the dad, again. And again, I was right, that's definitely not her father. And the fact that he just found Ben, like how? I'm still trying to figure out if he's working with the Genes or if he's an independent person, but either way, finds Ben, tells Ben that he's the one that will be able to find her. I'm not sure if he realizes what's happening with the whole connection thing. My guess is he does, because he didn't seem to flinch when Ben's face lit up like a Christmas tree, which again, I'm not sure if he actually saw that, but I feel like he must have. But anyway, we see he tells Ben to just look inward and to follow his body, and that he will find her. And that's exactly what ended up happening. He ended up finding the farm. We saw some badassery with the tentacles. Like we saw a little bit of it last season, but everyone's powers this season so leveled up. Like it makes me so sad to see this whole show is ending now that we're seeing this super badass stuff they can do with their powers. But anyways, I know that stuff's expensive. He does end up finding Jennifer and trying to escape with her. Like he manages to get her out, but does he really get her out? Because we see that at the farm, she wakes up, Jean and Jean are being super nice to her, you know, being their crazy Midwestern hyper selves. And they're trying to get her to talk about the cleanse, but she doesn't remember at the moment what they're talking about. And so they're like, you can trust us, that she's trying to vilify the Umbrella Academy. And she kind of listens for now because she's very disoriented, A, from the accident, and B, because of whatever happened between her and Ben. She doesn't seem to know what's going on right now either. So anyways, when she doesn't cooperate, or at least give them what they want, they bring her to the barn with all of their artifacts. And when she tries to run away, they show her the giant squid that we are shown at the beginning of the episode was actually a real event that happened in the OG timeline of, was it OG? We don't know, actually. I'm assuming it's probably both. But anyways, it must be the original, because why would they care? That's right, original timeline. She was found in the squid, and as soon as she sees it, she has a visceral traumatic reaction. So clearly her body and mind, or her subconscious remembers, but I don't think she remembers why she's scared of the squid. So anyways, that panics her. She still doesn't seem to remember anything, but she knows enough that she wants to get away from the squid. They leave her in there because they think that that's maybe going to trigger either her compliance or her memories, or both. And that's when all hell breaks loose. And as I said, they do manage to leave, but we see that Jean and Jean say, we can't shoot them. So as I said, I think that they're letting this happen because they think maybe this will help her remember. I'm not sure. they had the files, which they redacted. I'm assuming they redacted them. Maybe they got them redacted, but either way, they had the files of what happened with the Jennifer incident. So I'm thinking that they know who Ben is, and that's why they let the two of them go. Maybe they want a certain series of events to happen before they intervene. That's the only thing I can think of. But obviously their objective, like they said, is that they know that there's multiple timelines and they feel like this is a fake one and that they need to go back to the one where, like they said, one of them's a Harvard professor, blah, 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 blah. But again, we don't know if that's the OG timeline from season 1 or if it's just another timeline entirely. We don't know because there are multiple timelines and there's never been talk of one being the true one, right? So we just know that our group wants to get back to their prime timeline for various reasons, right? Allison wanted to go back for Claire, and all of them just kind of wanted to go back to what they knew. So anyway, we'll have to see what happens now that Ben and Jennifer are back together. Hopefully we'll get more information on the nature of their relationship and why there's such a crazy bond between the two of them and why they have this interesting connection that seems to be sparked by her. But I am very interested in what Jennifer can do. So that was pretty much what happened with the Ben and the farm. And then, yeah, back at Reggie's place, everyone ended up coming back together, as I mentioned, with the exception of Klaus, and they decided to get their memories back. And of course, Reggie had a machine to do that. And interestingly, Victor said he wanted to be part of it because even though he was technically, this is the time when Victor was still being locked up in the house and didn't have any memories of what happened, he's like, I'm part of the team and I want to be part of this. I don't want to be outside of everything anymore because even I didn't know what happened to Ben because I wasn't there. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Victor's presence does anything to alter what happened, but maybe it'll be a missing piece that's necessary. We'll have to see. But yeah, another good episode. I do like the way they're building this story up. I'm kind of upset that we're already halfway through this last season because I feel like we could definitely have more fun with this. But anyway, we'll have to see where all these roads lead. Obviously right now, I'd say they're leading to Jennifer, but why? And is she pivotal? And how do we fix this? Those are all the questions I'd like to know. And I just hope it doesn't end with us losing Ben again, because I really, really like Ben and I'd like him to stick around and have his happily ever after, even just once. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I enjoyed this episode a lot. I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I will see you in the next one.